With thousands of video games coming out each year, it's easy for some excellent games to fly under the radar. These hidden gems often prove to be some of the best games on the market today, beating out the mainstream AAA titles that everyone usually has their sights on. Here are some of the most underrated games to play in 2022. First up is Subnautica Below Zero. Released as the sequel to the 2014 hit Subnautica, this game puts you in an icy alien world where you have to scavenge and fight to figure out a way to survive. You have to constantly go out exploring into the world to look for food, raw materials to craft shelter, and the various tools that'll help you last longer on this planet, and make it past the wildlife alive. The previous game in the series was a huge hit among players, and this one is no different. It's set mostly underwater, but this time there are large amounts of land areas to explore, opening up a whole new dimension of gameplay. Fans of other survival games like Minecraft or Don't Starve are sure to love this sleeper hit, with the massive open world filled with things to do, sure to provide entertainment for a long time, and more casual players who just want to explore without worrying about survival or keeping their thirst and hunger bars full. There's Creative Mode. Creative Mode removes player death, so you can relax and focus on discovering new creatures and environments in the game. Next we have Deathloop. Deathloop is a 2021 first-person shooter game with an interesting twist. You play as a secret agent, Colt, who's stuck in a time loop. Your goal is to break the loop and free yourself from the endless Groundhog Day nightmare. To do this, you need to kill 8 enemies, called Visionaries, before the day ends. These Visionaries are placed in different areas along the island. A full loop is broken down into 4 stages: morning, noon, afternoon, and evening. Alternatively, if you're playing online, the other player takes the role of a different agent, and their goal is to kill you to preserve the time loop. Having the central mechanic be based on a repeating loop like this, where if you fail, the game resets, is a novel idea that works extremely well. Developer Arcane Studios is known for its underrated hits, and with Deathloop, they've knocked it out of the park once again. Players are sure to enjoy this one-of-a-kind, tense, action-packed shooter, as it is without a doubt one of the best games to play right now. Now for Age of Empires 4. Age of Empires is a classic series that saw the height of its popularity come and go a long time ago. However, with this latest game in the series, fans of the real-time strategy genre are in for a treat. Players control massive armies in immersive historical battles that feel visceral due to the improved graphics since the last game. The newest installment in the long-time fan-favorite strategy game surpasses everyone's expectations to prove once more why this series was such a darling back in its heyday. Age of Empires 4 is a worthy contender in the video game market. It's great for both new players and those wanting to relive childhood nostalgia. Up next is Maneater. Maneater has you play as a shark. Channeling classic films like Jaws, this game is a fun-filled romp where you are a shark hunting down helpless humans. Who doesn't want to devour a bunch of innocent people to kill stress? This seemingly humorous game has a deeper story, however. The goal is to evolve and get stronger, and kill the hunter who killed your mother when you were just a baby shark. The gameplay is fun and immersive. With a huge open world containing 8 different areas to explore, players need to find and consume other wildlife and human beings. This gives you the ability to upgrade your shark, which you'll need because the waters of Port Clovis are infested with other predators that will attack you. Not only that, but the entire time you're guided by a companion voiced by none other than Chris Parnell, Jerry Smith on Rick and Morty. If you want a lighthearted, gory game filled with violent bloodbaths and cute retro graphics, Maneater is the right game for you. Now on to Tunic. Tunic is a different game from the others on this list. Drawing on classic RPGs like The Legend of Zelda, this cute indie game is a surprisingly well-polished and fun release. You play as an anthropomorphized fox, and to get to different areas and unlock new parts of the story, you need to solve puzzles. These puzzles could be anything from looking for a new item, matching patterns, or even deciphering the strange language of the game. If you like brain teasers, you are in for a treat. If you like just exploring, the art style is beautiful and all the different areas are there for you to visit. Or if you're more of an action fan, you can focus your time on defeating the various bosses dotted throughout the game. Tunic is a beautiful cross between Dark Souls and Zelda, with something for everyone. Next we have Going Medieval. Here comes another strategy game on our list. Going Medieval is on a smaller scale than Age of Empires 4. Instead of managing managing a huge army, you set up your own small colony of villagers. You start with a tiny group of settlers and set up camp in the woods. Then, little by little, as you acquire resources, you can build up your village into a fully fledged castle, with boundary walls decked with archers for defense. The wilderness is full of surprises, from raiders that seek to destroy what you've built, to travelers that you can take in as part of your community. This exciting simulation game makes you get attached to your fledgling village as you grow into a formidable fortress. Furthermore, you need to keep track of resources, research, and even the emotional states of your villagers. This game hasn't been as popular as one would expect, but maybe because of the minimalist art style. But once you get your hands on it, you realize that the cute, simplistic 3D graphics just add to the game's charm. It's still in early access right now, but that means you get to support the developers and watch the game grow, just like managing your village in the game itself. And now for Ape Out. This is another lighthearted, more relaxing game, much like Maneater, except this time you play as an ape. The story is simple. You are an ape trapped in an unamusing facility, packed with guards. You have to break out and violently win your freedom. That's right, you get to ape out. Fans of games like Hotline Miami will feel right at home. The havoc you wreak to the beat of the frantic jazz soundtrack is a feeling hard to find in any other game. The Ape Out exceeds all expectations. The game feels very reactive. Enemies die with a satisfying splat, leaving a pool of blood in all directions. The screen shakes violently with each kill. This is a no-holds-barred marathon of chaos and destruction, and the result is something beautiful. In a world full of gritty first-person shooters, it's refreshing to see a game that doesn't take itself so seriously. Up next is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Speaking of a game that don't take themselves seriously, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a spin-off of the legendary Borderlands series. Fans will recognize the signature cel-shaded art style and the humorous dialogue. This game remained underrated because it's a spin-off, which is a shame because this one is simply fun. Players can combine two different classes, each with their own abilities to create their own character. Violent and unashamed, Tiny Tina's Wonderland ramps up the focus on melee combat, with exciting new weapons to slaughter hordes of enemies with. The AI has been updated to reflect this change too, with enemies moving into close range more often. This gives you a chance to try out your fancy new toys. As always, there's fun loot to be found, so by the time you reach the end game, you're a super-powered instrument of destruction. If you love mowing down endless masses of bad guys with your friends and discovering new weapons to more effectively do so, this is the game for you. Finally, we have Maid of Skur. Maid of Skur is a first-person survival horror game set on a remote island in 1898. This terrifying game is inspired by British folklore. You play as Thomas Evans, invited by his lover Elizabeth to the Skur Hotel. Upon arriving at the hotel, you quickly discover it's overrun by mysterious cultists called the Quiet Ones. Fun fact, the Quiet Ones are all blind and only move based on sound. This adds a terrifying element to the gameplay. You need to make as little noise as possible to avoid getting caught and brutally murdered. If the enemies are close enough, you even have to hold your breath. Adding to the difficulty is the fact that there is no autosave in this game. Like classic horror games such as Resident Evil, players can only save at designated save points called safe rooms. Otherwise, if you die, you lose all your progress. The realism in this game is unmatched. For example, if Thomas walks through dust, he starts coughing, which then alerts the Quiet Ones. Play this one with headphones on and all the lights off for the best experience. That's a wrap for today's video. Have you played any of these underrated games? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.